everybody to our digital event today on coffee, waffles, and ops, where we are going to have a cozy chat on growing go-to-market systems and operations. So first off, majority of folks should have received the gift pack courtesy of our friends at Subscribe. So if you got that, we did actually run out of kind of gift packs and materials. So sorry to those who were late on registering. It just means you got to sign up for our digital events sooner next time. But please, if you haven't already, post about it on LinkedIn. We're going to be running another kind of little promo on a $50 coffee gift card. Jen, Morgan, myself, some others have already kind of posted on LinkedIn. So please, share and use the hashtag coffee waffles ops as well, and tag Subscribe and RevOps Co-op in that. But without further ado, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about scaling go-to-market systems, technology, and teams. And we have a couple of folks on the panel who have been there, done that, from the early stages of kind of Okta, where Prakash was previously at, all the way to bringing them to IPO. And then with Amanda, who's a RevOps leader at Lob, going from Series A to Series C at a venture-backed startup. So lots of knowledge and expertise with the crew that we have here today. But I'm going to let first Prakash add anything to that professional introduction that you have, my friend, and then also outside of all the accolades and kind of knowledge that you have on the professional side, always want to know one fun, interesting kind of personal fact that's not RevOps related, and so drop a little bit of some interesting factoids on the audience here as well when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I see folks are from all the different time zones, so probably it's a cozy for few people. It's early morning or late afternoon for some. I'm Prakash. Prakash Rana. I'm one of the founders at Subscribe. But before Subscribe, I was, as Matt mentioned, was at Okta, joined very early days. I would say the first person of the business system or the business technology team. And when I joined, there was not even a department called business system or business technology. So I was part of the IT help desk because somewhere the HR has to put me. And that is where we started. Spent a lot of time at Okta, and we'll of course talk about that journey or learnings that I had during my time at Okta. Before that, worked at IBM for a long time, traveled or lived in different places, was in Hong Kong, Sydney, London for a few years. But yeah, very excited about what we are going to talk about here. About a fun fact, I don't know if it is fun or not, but as many other people who picked a new hobby or new interest during pandemic, I also did one, and that's poker. I started playing poker because that was something that, okay, we had a online app, and then we started with some of the friends group and all, and I really got excited or really got plugged into that. And fast forward, I would say that in the last 3 years, I have played probably almost all, if not all, most of the poker room at Vegas. I have played straight away more than 12 hours poker. And fortunately, I met Maria Konikova in one of the conference also. If some of you know her, she's one of the very famous poker players. She wrote a book, and I feel that, okay, there is a lot of good learning, the life learning that somebody can get out of the poker. And yeah, if I add more fun fact, I do have a dream to play WPT one day, the World Poker Tournament. So we'll see where that goes.
There you go. That's awesome. All right. So don't, I'm just going to say I would, if I was interested in poker, I would probably not want to pick a guy like you to go up against Prakash. So, but hey, who knows? I bet you there's a brave soul out there on this event right now that might take you up on that. But thank you, my friend, for the introduction. And so, Amanda, I'll turn it over to you. Anything you want to add on the professional side that I didn't hit on with the introduction, and then also same for you, one non-RevOps related kind of fact that you can drop for the audience.
Sure. So I've been at Lob for over 8 years, which I think is pretty unheard of these days in the startup world. I actually started as an SDR But having worked at some more mature organizations before joining Lob, when I joined Lob, I was employee number 14. So super early days. I was one of the first 5 salespeople. I joined as an SDR, and then I moved into an operations role just because when you're an SDR, if the systems aren't clean, it's the most agitating and like annoying thing that you can experience. And so some of it was self-serving, and then the last of it was, it really, I think, more suited what I enjoyed doing. So just grew as the company grew, and have been doing that since. But my fun fact is that I, similar to what Prakash was saying, during the pandemic, picked up a hobby. And so I actually started making candles during the pandemic. And so I have a little, just like personal business, donut candle company. All my candles are donut scented. So very in theme with the cozy theme of today. They're great, love them, but that's my little fun fact.
That's awesome. I love that. It reminds me, we had someone on a panel a couple months ago who their side hustle was designing and selling board games. And so I love the creativity that goes into stuff like that. And please make sure you share the link to your either your website or your Etsy store, wherever you got it, so you can take a look at all the creative donut scented candles that a RevOps practitioner would produce. I love it. That's great. All right, so from poker to candles to go-to-market systems, it's a very natural transition, everybody. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so we've got these call like 5 buckets of items that we're going to hit on. So first, we're going to get into kind of the 3 most important lessons that both Amanda and Prakash have based on their experience, again, at Okta and Lob. We're going to talk a little bit about system landscapes at different stages of a company, how those evolve as you mature or grow. Same thing with your team structure. Also, when it comes to go-to-market technology, there's always the question on basically every tool in your stack of build or buy. So these folks have been there, done that in a lot of different cases. So we'll talk about the thought process there. And then again, common challenges and how to overcome them. So those are the things that you're going to be in for the next 49 minutes. And I guess as we get started, we'll talk first about kind of the 3 most important lessons that both Prakash and Amanda have. And so, Amanda, let's actually start with you. Again, you've been at Lob for 8+ years. You've seen them go from Series A to Series C. You've seen them grow in terms of the go-to-market process, the team. You started in sales, you moved into RevOps, so you've got kind of a great breadth of experience. Maybe talk us through these sort of lessons that you have listed out here and kind of why you think these should be at the top of the list.
Sure. So having to build as you go, I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that you just like have to remain adaptable. As you know, what Series A, what you're really trying to do is just find product market fit. But once you do that, that's great for some time, but the market is continually evolving and changing. And so if you're not changing alongside of it, you're losing out, or you're going to lose out on being able to maintain the pace that you had gathered originally. And so that was like one of my first, or I guess when I was reflecting on this, that was the thing that first came to mind. And then also just thinking through, like, what I find today that's really important is just thinking through different scenarios. So when you're looking at how you plan to grow, think about it more holistically. And if you're thinking about systems, like, do you have the right systems in place that can help support that growth? And if not, let's think about those things sooner rather than later, because what I found is that you get yourself into what I like to call technical debt. So you're doing a process that's like not scalable. It's not It's not easy. It requires a lot of manpower, a lot of thinking, and then to have to undo it requires a lot of additional thinking and additional manpower to get it to where you need it to be. So always try to think ahead. And, I think some of that goes to some of Prakash's learnings as well. So I'll let him maybe cut in here and talk through that.
Yeah, what's at the top of your list, Prakash?
Yeah. And this is a lot of these, what we experienced or my experience at Okta, but I have seen this very valid for a lot of other companies also. I think that when you start with a small company, you will always see that the ops team or the business operation team hiring an admin or IT person or the technology person. I feel that, okay, that's okay at a very early stage. Having a central system, the central technology system is pretty critical. I think that, okay, as soon as the company can build it, they should build it, or they should have it, because it does help to think about the bigger picture, having the right control and better technical design versus a business team. And again, I'm not saying that, okay, people on business side, they don't have the technical skill. It's just like when you have a central system, you look through a bigger lens and look for a better solution or the design wise. I also think that over hiring is important. A lot of time when we see that, okay, oh, I'm just picking it, a CRM admin or an integration engineer, and we just go and hire a Salesforce admin, I would highly suggest that, okay, we should look, or the company should look for hiring somebody who is more than that, who has done probably the architecture, who's maybe done the design, but of course, open to do the hands-on job also. That just gives a lot of foundational thing, which based on which you can operate or you can grow further versus hiring somebody just for what you need right now. And the other aspect, and again, this is a very much on the system side, one of the lesson is, how can you build the team who understand the business side also? That gives two parts. One is, the systems are not there just for the system. Systems are there to enable the business, to move them faster, to be agile, to say that, okay, if they want to make a change, they should be able to do the change. But at the same time, how can we, as a system team or as a technology team, you can build enough partnership with the business side so that they can bring you early in the discussion, rather than you hearing as a system team like, hey, we are launching a new packaging, go and configure the system, versus you are actually involved much early that, okay, as a company, we are thinking about this packaging, so that you can also help them to come up with something which system can operate, or you are ready to that, okay, this is what is going to come next month, next quarter. So I would say that those are the top three, I would say, my important lesson at Okta, as well as working or talking to other companies.
Yeah, and that makes it makes sense. I think as I looked at kind of overhire and heard you kind of speak to that, Prakash, I was thinking about hiring ahead of where you are today, right? Think about not just the maybe the things you need, or potentially the things that are on fire now, but what are those things that you're going to need as you grow and scale, and hire for those capabilities or skills. And I think your last point on the business perspective is also key. I think this is applicable to, again, folks in RevOps, BizOps, go-to-market systems, wherever it might be. Right? Is like, don't forget about, again, like the goals of the business. Like, what is the system there to do? What is the team there to do? Whether it's accounting, finance, sales, marketing, right? Like it's there for a reason, and just tie those tools or those processes to like those business outcomes, right? So that you at least understand, like, okay, this is why this helps. And I think, Amanda, you kind of hit on that with your introduction on moving from sales to RevOps, right? Like, and why that was such a natural transition of, like, you understood the things that you were trying to accomplish, and how having the right systems and processes in place just enabled you to do your job so much better. I think that's really key, and probably hits on, I guess, maybe some of the other things that are on your list here, with things like alignment across the organization and investing in the right technology and infrastructure as well.
Yeah, I think similar to what Prakash is saying around, systems are there to enable the business. The way that I think about it in RevOps too is like, how are the systems that we're putting in place, how are they enabling alignment across the go-to-market org? Because it's very common, or it's something that can happen where there is, or where there are, you know, folks on the team who might have different ideas of what the goal is, right? And so making sure that everybody understands like what's that North Star that we're working towards, and then how do we design the systems to help enable that, or the processes to help enable that, incentives to help enable that, so that everybody at the end of the day, we're getting to the goal that we're looking towards. And then I always say, like, you should invest in technology and infrastructure and make sure that everything you're building is scalable. You're able to capture the data that you need throughout all these different processes that you have defined, and always continually train folks on the team, because, you know, similar to number one, the market changes, your systems change as the market changes. And if you're not training your team on those changes, you know, they won't be able to keep up with what you're asking of them.
Yes. And before we move off of this slide, just a couple of questions from the audience I want to make sure we kind of address. And I'll leave these, Amanda and Prakash, for you, even though I know Prakash, you responded a little bit in the chat. So one of the questions, and I think this kind of gets at the alignment across the organization and overhiring or hiring ahead, but question of, is it easier to build these tech systems teams kind of internally or outsource them? And then another question on, if the CEO, or call it leadership, doesn't understand the value of kind of hiring ahead or investing kind of ahead of kind of where you are today, what are some things that people in RevOps can do to you know, kind of demonstrate the need for that? So Amanda or Prakash, whoever wants to go
I
first.
think the first one about the internal versus external, if you see the last point that I mentioned about the partnership with your system, with your business team, and getting involved into early in the discussion, I think it's probably impossible to achieve that with an external team. Because the external team has a different goal with respect to how they are involved in your company, in the task that you are assigning. So from that perspective, I would say that, okay, the internal team is very important. You may have an internal team and they have a extended support from an external, but having the whole technical team as an external, I would highly suggest against that, and probably have an internal team, but they can have more support from external folks. And on the overhiring, I'll put something, and Amanda, I would love to hear your comment, but I put on the channel also, or responded. I think a lot of time when if you talk about the leadership team, the CEO and all, they always look for the example that, okay, you're talking about something, but tell me that, okay, how it is going to help, and is it really something that, okay, that's going to move the needle for us? For that leadership team and the executive team, I always feel that, okay, going with an example, showing that, okay, this is how it has happened, or this is how it has impacted the other company, and how you can correlate that with your business, your own company, or your operation. I think that's going to help you convince that. So just find somebody on the LinkedIn who had joined a company early days, and a great company, and how exactly they progress with the company. I always feel that, okay, I reach out to the folks at LinkedIn very often, just unknown person, and people generally respond if you ask for some suggestion and all. I do think that, okay, that's probably one route to convince the executive team.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think about it similar to when, you know, I'm evaluating a vendor and I'm asking them to show me what's the return on investment. Like, think about it. If you think about it in that way, and you build a business case for yourself or for what this hire will do, I think that helps just provide the logic and the thinking behind it. And that helps to foster trust, I think, between yourself and maybe your executives. Yeah, ROI calculator for RevOps, exactly. So like, just try to always think about yourself and what you're doing in that way. And I think that helps support your argument. You can't change people. So like, if they still will refuse to see what you're seeing, you know, also have the wisdom to like let something go.
And yeah, and the thing I'll add to what you both said, Amanda and Prakash, is so right, like as a CEO myself and someone who's started companies before and have had teams, Prakash, what you mentioned on looking for examples or like pattern matching, basically, right? Like super important. The reason why is because our investors and our boards are going to be asking us questions about like, well, why did you spend your money there? Why did you decide to invest in this particular initiative? And we can't just be like, oh, well, this great person on our team, Amanda, had this wonderful idea and like that's why we did it. But if we can actually say like, oh, well, our team recommended we take this course of action. Here's some other examples of companies, right, that have done the same thing. Here's been the outcomes or the lessons learned, the gotchas, and that's why we decided to move forward with this particular case, right? That's all really important. So looking for that, like that pattern or that external kind of validation has nothing to do with lack of trust or kind of needing more from the team, but it's more how am I going to answer kind of the questions that all inevitably get asked. And so, yeah, like Prakash said and Amanda said, if you can find people in your network, find people on LinkedIn, just have some way to communicate that. And then, Amanda, you put it perfectly, like, know that it's not personal, right? Let it go if it doesn't progress. Super, super important as well. All right, so systems landscape is kind of up next. And Amanda, we'll start with you on this. So when it comes to Lob at Series A, and maybe this is when you first kind of made the transition from SDR into RevOps, talk a little bit about kind of how your tech stack was set up, the interplay between kind of go-to-market tools, finance tools, and then next we can get into how that progressed as you kind of grew.
Yeah, so I joined September of 2015, and Lob had purchased Salesforce in, I think, April or May of that year. So it was like very fresh, very new. There was just like a lot of leads in there. No one was doing anything with them. There wasn't any defined process for how we do anything. And so coming in as an SDR, like I said, that was kind of a nightmare because I wasn't sure, if AEs were reaching out to the leads that I was reaching out to. There was no record of anything. So there was a lot of opportunity for improvement, I'll say. But that was on the revenue side. So on the sales side, we were starting to utilize Salesforce and kind of grew in that process by just defining what is it that we're trying to do here and how can Salesforce help support that so that we can actually see, like, are we making progress towards those goals? On the engineering side, they were out building a custom billing solution. So we have an internal solution that really was the subscription management, billing, et cetera. So I will say, like, we still have that today. It's been iterated on some more, but definitely we can skip to maybe Series C, because you'll see they're the same. Like nothing's really meaningfully changed between these two, but we are looking to change that because as I was saying before, we've gotten ourselves to a place where I think when you build something internal, it causes a lot of headache in terms of maintenance and like having people maintain that infrastructure and maintain what you're doing. So not only is there that maintenance piece, but then when you want to change something, it becomes reasonably hard to do. And so when you're looking at adaptability and making sure that you are able to maintain adaptability, that's where I caution against maybe internal solution, but we'll talk more about that, I think, later. We have like a build versus buy section, and so I can dig into that a little bit.
Yeah. So I guess proof that you've lived through a lot of the items that lead to some of those key learnings that we mentioned up front. All right. So Prakash, Amanda talked us through kind of Series A to Series C at Lob and how basically the only thing that changed slide to slide was the letter in the title. Tech stack essentially remained the same. So why don't you give us kind of the lowdown on Okta tech stack from kind of go-to-market finance and how that evolved when you first joined, and Okta was less than 100 million ARR up to the point that Okta IPO'd.
Yep, absolutely. This is probably a very known or common architecture at that time. I'm sure that some of the companies still use these. But yeah, we had the CRM, we had the Zora doing the CPQ, billing, RevRec, and a lot of these were like, because there was no other choice. So we were just, okay, whatever is in the market as a known name, we just have to go and get that. This was also, I would say, by the time it landed in this architecture, we had replaced some of the existing system. We moved from one to other. I'm not going to go into the detail about what we moved out from. But yeah, these were the system. Some of these were connected. Some of these were not. It was a manual process to transfer data from here and there. And if I just go a little bit more tangent to just these landscape, at this stage, a lot of companies also, including Okta, had probably manually doing the sales commission or a tool for the sales commission, but not really connected with all the data point where it needs to. If you think about the forecasting tool, that was, again, a tool, a standalone tool, but it was not really connected in the ecosystem. You talk about the customer support or the customer health side. That also is a system. Half of these are connected or just manually. So at this stage, you will see that, okay, many of the company, and hopefully it is resonating with others also, you have probably system doing a lot of these aspects, but never been like, okay, it's connected or ecosystem or an automated process. But when you go to the next slide, when by the time we reach to a stage where we are doing IPO, the needs are different because you have to maintain the governance, the control, the SOX, and all those other things where you need a process. The manual step it is not easy to maintain or operate on because there are auditors coming and looking at you every quarter. And if you have a manual process, then it gets a lot of questions. So system change, we move to a more CPQ side on the Salesforce. We move to a different revenue recognition tool, which was like some of the finance guys. If you are here, 606 was launched there. So that was a tool. And by that time, we also had it's not shown here, but we had an integration tool, the middleware, which was connecting with all the system, transferring data from the one another. If you are buying these system, a lot of these will say that, oh, we already work with your other system. My experience is that pre-built connector only takes you to a certain stage. It only works with a very sample or limited use cases. And to support that, okay, you are trying to build a connected architecture, you need some sort of a middleware tool and all. And again, as like exactly was the sales commission, we were using Clary for the forecasting. So a lot of those tools were like, now it was much more ecosystem or connected ecosystem by that time. And of course, things improved from there. A lot of these systems are still, I'm sure, at Okta. Some of these new things got added because Okta was growing, expanding into the new territory, doing a lot of M&As. And with all of these, you get a new system added to your ecosystem.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the landscape when we were going public.
Yep. Makes sense. And I know the thing I heard as you were speaking here, Prakash, that I don't know, this is a cozy chat, right? Made my soul feel a little warm, was turns out companies like Okta that eventually go on to IPO have all the same problems that other companies, everybody else is probably experiencing here today, right? So one, everybody, I don't know, virtual group hug, like we're all in the same boat. You can go on to IPO, and the problems that you're facing and experiencing today with disconnected or disparate systems or tools, data all over the place, spreadsheets for this and spreadsheets for that. It is apparently the same thing that companies like Okta have experienced and grown out of in the past. And then I will, I guess like +1 or, however I can upvote the comment you made, Prakash, on the need for some sort of middleware to help move data around, because yes, every vendor, every product will tell you that they have an integration with like this other tool, or they have hundreds of integrations, right? Or, oh, we're native to XYZ. Very few products actually are, though. And so, yes, that will only take you so far. And especially as you grow and scale, you will need something, right? Native integrations are not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah. And just to put another point, it looks very clean on this slide, but if you really look at the actual architecture and how it is much more complex, much more. I saw somebody making a comment, Amber, about the DocuSign GTM stack. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a spider web in many companies, and it is hard to maintain when you start becoming a public company, because you need to operate like something which you can audit and control and all.
Yep. Makes sense. Sorry, let me get these slides back. I'm not sure where that went. All right, there we are. All right, awesome. So let me go to, all right, team structure. So we talked about systems, tech stack, how that grows, scales as kind of companies grow and scale. So let's talk a little bit about the people side and the people aspect of that. And Amanda, we will start with you again. Talk about Lob, kind of in the early days. Again, looks simple, right, based on the slide, but what did Lob look like at Series A? And then we can talk about how that progressed from Series A to Series C.
Yeah. So it was pretty simple. Like I said, I was employee 14. So we were a really small team, really scrappy. I was the only ops person, and I was a part-time sysadmin. I still am. Like, there's still some things that I do today. And so, I think having gone through it's given me a lot of good experience, because I know all of the underlying architecture, and I understand like where the spider webs are and like where the skeletons are hidden. But early days, it really was probably just two people, myself and someone on the finance team, just to manage this process. And so in that regard, it was a little bit easy, because it was just like, we were able to communicate on Slack, or, if anything was broken, it was pretty easy in that regard. But as things grow and as your team scales, as your go-to-market team scales, your revenue scales, the problems just become more complex, and those skeletons start to show up and become zombies. They really like rear their heads. And so the next slide, you'll see this is more so where we're at today. But I am still someone who manages a lot of our go-to-market tech stack. And then I have a part-time sysadmin to help me with that as well. So with anything new, and then we have deal desks sit on the finance side, just because there are, that's, I think, the better fit for our business model. But of course, a lot of times it will sit in the go-to-market team. It just really depends, I think, on what your business needs. But we do have a few folks that are helping with order management and billing. And then we have finance ops to help with all of the data. I have some folks on my team that also help with audits and making sure that the what's signed is what's actually added into our system. And so there's still quite a bit of, our systems are really, they're as integrated as they can be, but like Prakash was saying, they're never as integrated as you'd like them to be. So a lot of what we do today is heavily, we rely on our team a lot for subscriptions and order management.
Yeah. And can you share, you mentioned the kind of the business model at Lob being different or unique, that makes sense for deal desk to sit under finance. Can you just share any specifics you have there on why that is the best fit, given the structure and the business that you all run at Lob?
Yeah, so we have a SaaS component, but we also have a usage component. And our usage is because we we're a product that allows companies to automate sending physical mail. So letters, checks, postcards, there is a physical goods cost associated to those usages. So it's not really, there are pricing implications for that usage piece. And so it makes more sense for having a deal desk on the finance side, because they're able to control for all the funky things that changing usage costs could have to the business.
Yeah, that makes a bunch of sense. And yes, glad to see that you went from RevOps as a part-time systems admin to RevOps with a part-time system admin, and have gotten a whole bunch of help across the RevOps and finance side as well. So Prakash, for you, my friend, I guess let's talk about kind of the Okta systems team when you first joined and what that looked like across go-to-market and finance, and then we can talk about how that kind of grew and evolved, matured as the company got ready to IPO.
Yeah, I think hearing what Amanda was saying about her journey from A to C, I think this leads very nicely to the next stage. And you can see the one model difference that you asked, Matt, that, okay, deal desk being on the finance or the go-to-market side. And I'll give you a little bit more perspective that, okay, why the deal desk was part of the go-to-market at Okta, because the job or the role of deal desk at Okta and many other companies, and even I feel that, okay, that probably is the right role for the deal desk, is to help the reps or the seller to traverse through or close the bigger deals or the complex deal, where it needs a lot more, maybe the legal terms and negotiations, or a lot of like a commercial term, or just going through like, okay, maybe the ROI, we spoke about the ROI, some of the business value added, and a lot of those things which is required for the bigger deals. And that's why the deal desk works very closely with the sales or the seller side. So this was a team very similar to Amanda. There was somebody as a part-time sysadmin sitting on the business operation, which I was referring earlier, that this is where probably every company starts with. But once you start getting into the bigger and bigger, it is better to have a technical person on the ops side, but not doing the admin stuff. Just talking about the segregation of duty, that, okay, if you understand the technical stuff, of course, it helps us like a system team, because you come with a perspective that, okay, hey, I know that, okay, your system should be able to do this, but who makes the change and who maintain the change? It's better to be outside the ops. So this was on the go-to-market side. On the finance, of course, very similar to many other companies doing in the SaaS businesses. It's order management, billing, where they are, after the close is done, the deal is closed, they are making sure that, okay, everything is right. They go and send the invoices or bill the customer, collect the payment, and all those other fun stuff. And from there, you have another team doing the RevRec side of the thing. As like, you don't see the business system because there was not one. I was there, but again, this was not a business system org as such. But yeah, this was the team. And if you move to the next one, the IPO, it got a lot more structured, a lot more people. Of course, the diagram is, or the picture here is not showing the count or the number of people in the team. But again, the sales ops, revenue operation, I think back then, the revenue operation was not a name tag or the department. It was mainly the sales ops or the deal desk or the biz ops. But I put the revenue operation because that's how we are calling. Of course, the team became very big on that. There may be the pricing team, pricing and packaging team, where you are thinking about like, okay, how the go-to-market. You also had team who are thinking about more so different aspect of the operation, maybe the sales side, maybe the customer support, maybe the professional service, and all those other aspects come. Then we have the business system team, where you really see the admins, the developers, the architect, the business analysts, like the folks who understand the technology more, but of course understand the business side. And on the finance, I would say that, okay, the one new department got added is more like a, I would say some companies says finance operations, some companies says finance transformation, where they are thinking more from the bigger picture wise, where they're trying to not go into the daily operational stuff versus more strategic thing that, okay, if there is an M&A, if we are expanding into different territory, launching product into a different currency, that, okay, how exactly the system should, or anything with respect to more strategic, like the task wise. So that was a new team added or new group added within the finance. Apart from the order management, billing and revenue was, of course, there even during the IPO or post that.
Yep. So yeah, so lots of progress made on that journey. And like you said, Prakash, when you were at kind of less than $100 million ARR, you existed, but you didn't have a necessarily defined kind of function, right? You were like the shadow that hovered right over these things. And with the business maturing and progressing and growing, things moved and evolved. You had the formal business systems team, and then you also had the kind of the go-to-market and finance teams like you did before with their defined scopes and roles. And also makes a lot of sense on the things that you described with the business at Okta, for example, and why Deal Desk was a better fit on, say, the go-to-market side or the RevOps team than on the finance team, where versus Lob, right, which has a very different type of kind of business and model, especially with usage kind of based pricing being obviously so tied to order management and billing as well. All right, so we've got about 15 minutes left. Two more kind of topics to cover. So we've gone through now, a journey on kind of growing, scaling systems, growing, scaling teams. We talked about how tech stacks have evolved from Series A to Series C, from Series C up to IPO. So with that, right, anytime you're talking about technology, you always have the natural question, especially if you're a software company, hey, do we go out and buy a product, or do we build, manage, do something in-house, right? That can be our own, that we can adjust, refine to our unique set of needs and circumstances. And so maybe, Amanda, we'll start with you, because you obviously had kind of both of these within the tech stack that you showed, right? Where I think kind of CPQ, billing, things like that, were your internal solution. It's where you started. It's where you're still at today. You obviously had also tools like Salesforce as your CRM, other items that you decided to purchase instead of go the custom route. So let's maybe talk about your decision-making over the last 8 years at Lob and how you approach this whole build versus buy question.
Yeah, I think, now that I'm older and wiser in my career, I think a lot of times I will choose buy over build. But there are some considerations that you want to think through before you make that decision. So if there's something that's very unique or custom about what you're doing, then maybe that is something that you decide to build internally. But I also think through, like, if there's something so unique that you're doing, is there a way for you to make that more standardized or more similar to what other companies are doing, so that you can allow yourself the flexibility to go buy and allow yourself that option of scalability? Because if we built our own internal billing solution. If I'm building a billing solution, let's say, that requires me to then have, if I'm thinking as a business owner, like that requires me to have folks on the engineering team that are specifically dedicated to maintaining the infrastructure of this billing team, making the change or billing tool, changing that. And there are a lot of companies out there like Subscribe that are building products that allow you to do that without having to maintain a whole team internally to build that. So I wouldn't want to go out and build a Clary, like a forecasting tool or a CRM or things like that, because there's a lot of ways that I could just make what I'm doing more standard to what everybody in the what everybody else is doing, and that helps me then take these tools and build my process or support my processes, which those might be custom to our business and our market, and just have be able to like make changes quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think kind of the first question is to always ask yourself, like, why is it unique? Like in your case, right, you mentioned kind of having this subscription plus usage based type of model, and you also mentioned how a lot of you've been there for the last 8 years, right? If I go back 8 years, I would probably guess there probably were no products like Subscribe or others out there on the market that would actually allow you to combine those two things into one, like solution that you could buy off the shelf and could do what you needed it to do. So you had no choice. But the other aspect of that is like, okay, well, if it's going to cost extra internally, right, on people, on tools, on just like if I need to invest more in that business model, will it produce the results, right, the outcomes that I'm looking to do? So you got to see, again, we talked a lot about ROI. You got to see the positive outcomes, right? So you got to be able to generate more revenue, land more customers, right, because of that business model. And to your point, if you're not able to maybe accomplish those things, or you don't think that you can, or if there might be an easier starting point, right? Maybe you start with just subscription based and add the usage based stuff on later. Like those are all things that you should evaluate in that process as well. And Prakash, maybe this is a question for you as well, as you add your insights onto this build versus buy. But I always like part of what I always kind of struggle here too is like with myself and with my team, I always like to have a strong kind of bias for action. Like go out, figure out how to do something manually with spreadsheets or whatever first, right? Before you go and try to solve your problem with some new tool or technology. But then you always need to balance that with, you don't want to get too far down a path, right? Because then you could kind of find yourself in like a oh shit type of moment where you're like, oh man, now I've got this team and we've kind of like at a point of no return where I can't like undo some of the stuff that I've got. And now I've got this like some cost fallacy kind of going on. So Prakash, I don't know if you have any insights on that or anything to add on your own experiences with this whole build versus buy question.
Absolutely. And to your point about that, okay, let's go and try out to do it manually. I do think that, okay, that's really important because you need to know that what problem you are trying to solve. You should know that, okay, oh, this is what the pain point, I can't do it in a manual way that, okay, on an Excel or whatever it is. Because whenever you go and talk to a vendor and they do a demo, they will always come up with the shiniest stuff, which may look very shiny, but you don't know that it is going to really solve your problem. And unless you know about your real problem, by doing it manually, it's very hard to go and vet out a tool or a solution for that. The one aspect I would say that, okay, the build versus buy is, and picking just Amanda example about the billing system, just go and look out a vendor who is doing the billing system and look at their org structure. Look at that, okay, what all different people in the company. You will see that, okay, there are product manager, there are UX designer, there are folks, engineers dedicated for that. Do you really have the, do you think that, okay, you can go and have the PMs, have the UX designer or the engineers to have this built internally? It's hard because I have not seen anyone that, okay, they hire UX designer to build internal billing system or whatever it could be. They hire an engineer and say like, oh, I have a technical skill to go and build it. Why to go and get a tool, which it doesn't work in the long run. The other aspect is when you go and build something, you only build what you know right now. Nobody is there to think about that, okay, what could be the need for 6 months, a year, or 2 years down the line, versus when a vendor is doing it, they are actually, that's their bread and butter. That is what they are trying to find out that, okay, company like Lob or what are the other 10 companies trying to do in the similar space, and they try to build before the Lob think that, oh, this is a need for us also. So from that aspect, I have been in many discussions with the senior leadership on these things, and I always prefer, unless until it is a core capability of the product offering, you should not get into that, and buying is an option if there is a solution outside in the market.
Yeah. And I guess last question for you both on this before we kind of move on to the last topic. My own experience, I have yet to actually meet anyone who has ever said that building a custom solution has allowed them to be better off than buying a product off the shelf. So I guess maybe this can also be like a simple yes or no question. Like, Amanda, maybe you first. Have you, either in your own experiences or have you ever met someone who has said that building an internal tool has been better than buying something? And if the answer is yes, maybe give that example. And then Prakash, I'll ask you the same thing.
No, I mean, I guess like the only example that I would have for that is maybe just like be similar to, I mean, what you were saying, like 8 years ago, there weren't that many solutions or any solutions that could help us solve our problems. So it made sense to build, but otherwise, like, I don't see why you would do that. You know, whatever I build for forecasting is probably not going to be better than Clary. Like whatever I build for CRM is not going to be better than Salesforce or HubSpot. Like it's just marketing automation solution. Like none of those things, I think I could reasonably build myself and have it be better than what's out there.
What about you, Prakash?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a founder and a small company, and he's very technical, a PhD in computer science. And when I demoed our product, they said like, dude, I can just sit down and build this in a week time, in a weekend. And he's, of course, an expert that, okay. And he did that. He built it on a weekend. And that is what the way, like 6 months later, I was chatting with him. And he said like, you know what? Now I'm becoming a blocker during the quarter end because the sales is coming with a fancy deal. And now the billing team does not support. And I have to, every quarter end night, I have to wake up and then go and fix something. And a year later, he came back saying that, okay, you know what? I'll have to go and find something because this is not sustainable. And that is the journey for most of the time. You can absolutely go and build if you have the right technical skill. Think about that. Okay, are you ready to support this for the 6 month, a year, 2 year, or 5 year down the line? That is where I think the turning point or the tipping point that, okay, people should think about.
Yeah. And I agree. I think, right. Any software product, like you could go out and build something to solve your own problems today. But I think the main thing that you pointed out, Prakash, is the whole point of software companies existing is that they solve for those problems that you're experiencing today and the ones that you'll experience in the future and just simply can't predict. And they'll also be able to solve for those issues that, are like the 13 or, 23 different paths that your company could potentially take from where you are today, right? There's no way that you can potentially build that on your own from scratch. And that's really the main value add that, again, products vendors kind of bring to the table. And kind of as we wrap up here, we got about 5 minutes left. Last kind of thing we wanted to hit on was common challenges that you all have had on your journey as well. And so, Amanda, we'll kind of start with you on, again, common challenges that you've seen on your journey with Lob from Series A to Series C and beyond.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that maybe we haven't touched on is how in which ways the market has changed or can change. And some of that is, compliance related. And so that's like one thing that when you're building solutions or building go-to-market solutions, especially when you're considering something, again, like build versus buy, that might not be something that you've thought through or something that you are going to plan for in like 1 to 5 years time. And so that's one of the challenges that I think I've come up against, right? And making sure that we're able to stay within the privacy law changes and all the different changes over time. User adoption is always hard. I think everybody knows that one. And I think systems integrations, we talked about that earlier, like they say they do integrate natively, but they don't. Just maintaining a system that is scalable enough to help you with your rapid growth.
Yep. And then Prakash, what about you?
Yeah, and I'll give a little bit of context of my time at Okta. When I joined, or Okta grew from less than 100 million ARR to $1 billion ARR in around 5 years. Think about that as a hyper growth and all the things which I mentioned about like the over hiring. If you're not, how would you even think about that? Okay, somebody can grow that massively in like few year time frame. if you don't have a central team, if you are not thinking about the buy versus build, if we would have built something, there was no way we would have, like, of course, Okta was growing, we would have managed somehow, but it would have been a nightmare to make the business running and all. And that's where I say that, okay, some of the point we mentioned that, okay, the challenge is hiring the right people is a challenge. And from a system perspective, mainly on the business technology, if the folks are in that group, you should always look for somebody who understands the business also. Hiring just a Salesforce admin and Salesforce architect, of course, the right people are there. Hiring somebody who understands the Salesforce architecture as well as, okay, how exactly the revenue operation works is a challenging thing. And if you get somebody, you should definitely find or hire someone. I would say that, okay, those are the few things I would say. The over hiring and a central team is still something that, okay, you all should solve to manage a growth like what Okta did.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree. It makes makes tons of sense, especially as you reflected, right? You look back at some of the right choices that you all made on that journey from 100 million to IPO. And again, if you would have went a different direction, right? If you would have built instead of bought in some places, or decided to make different choices with how you grew and scaled the team, certainly I have 100% confidence y'all would have been fine. You would have made it to exactly the point that you made it to, but it probably would have been a lot more painful for you and everybody else there. So yeah, it makes complete sense on where a bunch of those kind of insights and things are coming from. So we are basically at time. We got about a minute left. So we've got LinkedIn profiles for folks up here. We've got company profiles as well. Again, anyone who got the kind of the gift pack, please kind of feel free to post something on LinkedIn with the hashtag Coffee Waffles Ops, at mention subscribe and RevOps Co-op, and we will enter you into a drawing for a $50 coffee gift card. But with that, I will say thank you to Amanda, thank you to Prakash for dropping all the knowledge that you did on us today, and thank you to everybody out there who attended as well. We will kind of let you all run now that we're top of the hour, and I'll see you on the flip side. So have a great rest of your Thursday, have a great end of your week, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time. So take care.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye now.